Good evening, everyone. My name is Akanksha Vichare, editor of Ace Update magazine, and I welcome you all to the online interaction on designs and construction maintenance for Monsoon. As monsoon season approaches, architects and builders face unique challenges in designing and maintaining buildings that can withstand heavy rains and strong winds. Keeping this plan in mind, Ace Update is conducting an online interaction on designs and construction maintenance for monsoon. Our exclusive panelist will provide us with the insights on maintaining buildings during the monsoon season to ensure their longevity, safety, and more sustainable structures. The distinguished speakers for today's online interaction are Mr. Pankaj Pokhrana from Anuvi Chemicals Resicon brand, Mr. Pranav Sangvi, MD and founder of Green Apple Private Limited, Mr. Soumendra Man, founder and director of MChem Products Private Limited, and Mr. Nitin Mehta, co-founder and executive director of Elcoy. How to find whether the slope provided is positive or negative, and what is the test to find out? How many rainwater outlets are required per square meter area? Mr. Pankaj, if you would like to answer the question.
Checking method of slope, whether it is positive or negative, is simply pour water in that area. If the water is flowing away from the wall and getting towards rainwater side and going out, that means the slope is positive and water will not come and stand on the junction of wall and floor. Also, when you are in large terrace, you can see there is a ridge. There is a ridge line, so one slope coming from this side, other slope coming from this side. So you can see it is visible also that the slope are going into the direction of the rainwater. Now the rainwater pipes are decided based on the slope to be created. Generally in terraces, residential terraces, the slope is 1 in 100, that is 1 inch in 100 meters. But in industrial terraces and larger terraces, the slopes needs to be more because spans are large. So there the slopes can be 1 in 80. Means in 80 meters there will be a 1 meter slope. So there the slope has to be, and the rainwater is decided on the size of the pipe of rainwater is also decided as per the discharge that structural engineer want to do on that span. So what span he wants to do? If he wants to put a 8-inch pipe, he can use lesser pipe. If he wants to use 3-inch or 4-inch pipe, he will have to put more pipes. Also, the span will decide. So that is decided by the design engineer that how much rainwater pipes he wants to get a proper runoff of the water from the terrace. The slope, similarly on the chhajjas. When you see the chhajjas, most of the time you are able to observe that the slope is negative. And the answer is when you find the water stagnant at the junction, that means it is a negative slope. And in that case, you have to create a slope to run off the water from the terrace.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj. I'm sure Jaswinder Singh is definitely satisfied with the answer that you have given. Moving on to our next question, Mr. Amol Popli has a question. Apart from the benefits of stone facades, are there any disadvantages? Mr. Pranav, would you like to answer it?
There is only one disadvantage on the stone facade, is that if you want to replace any stone after some time, you will not get the same lot of stone. So the stone afterwards would be of might be different texture, different color. So that will stand out. So to replace the stone after some time, you will not get the same finish, the same color, the same texture. So that is only the disadvantage in the stone facade.
Okay, sorry, I have a question if I can.
Yes, Mr. Nitin.
Okay, so when you say these are 4 mm stones, now are these, I would say, natural stones, or these are synthetic or created?
100% natural stones, which are extracted from the thicker slabs, and they are having a backing of an FRP. So the entire stone is holded with the FRP. So we have a patented technology where we cast a FRP on the stone and we extract the stone from the thicker slabs of maybe 500 mm, 800 mm thick slabs.
And any possibility of these getting broken while installing? What are the sheet sizes?
No, these are non-breakable stones. Because of the backing of an FRP, this turned out to be nearly a non-breakable stones. So it will be no cracks, no breakages, nothing.
And mostly they are fitted as dry cladding or also wet?
Both the options are there. We also have a dry cladding option. We also have a wet cladding option.
All right, thank you.
One question. What happens if there are cracks appearing in the cladding stones? Are those cracks repairable? Or
Yes,
then you have to replace?
whatever the cracks will form, even in the future, like even 50 years or 70 years later, the cracks would be on the stone, not on the FRP. So the back layer of the stone, if it's a 4 mm stone, the natural stone is only 2.5 to 2.7 mm. 1.3 mm to 1.5 mm is a FRP backing. So that FRP is not going to be cracked because it's a product where we are right now even make our drainage pipes and everything from FRP. So the FRP is not crackable.
No, I want to say whatever crack which appears on the stone surface,
Right.
how do we treat?
So you can treat that with the same matching epoxy adhesives, so that you can fill that with the epoxy grout, or we also have the same stone, we have stone powder. So you can mix it with the epoxy grout and fill that crack. So it will have a same look.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pranav, Nitin, and Pankaj for your inputs. We have another question here. Any interior anti-condensation coatings?
Not that I've heard of. Actually, there is something called as, I would say, there is a coating on glass available these days which does not let condensation happen on the glass, but not on the aluminium that I've heard of. So yes, that is available, but not on the aluminum section.
All right, so thank you for answering that. We have another question from Mr. Sirki. If the water stagnating at terrace can polyurethane coating of MChem work, or slope should be maintained? Mr. Somendra?
It will work. The only thing is, for aesthetic reasons, if you don't want to see puddles or some such things, then you could make a slope. But the water will not go inside into the concrete, despite there will be no slope. So it's basically aesthetic choice.
So there is one more question for you.
Right.
How is the combination system you talked about better than pure polyurea?
So the combination system involves the use of a primer, which of course gets soaked into the concrete and toughens the top surface. Then the first layer is a lower tensile, higher elongation product, and finally it is a high tensile, lower elongation product. How this works is that the middle layer, it isolates the top layer from the movements below, right? And then because it's got a lower tensile due to expansion contraction, it does not lay stress onto the concrete surface. So you will have crack spanning, you can have expansion contraction, but it doesn't peel off. Now, what is the issue with polyurea is that it is applied straight to the prime concrete. And because it has got a high modulus, so during expansion contraction, it kind of peels off after a while. So you have a disbonded, loose membrane lying on top of the concrete. So that is what is the difference.
Thank you, Mr. Somendra, for answering that. Mr. Pankaj, I have a question for you. What are the considerations for selecting and installing appropriate waterproofing materials such as membranes, coatings, and sealants to prevent monsoon leakages?
Depending upon the uses, like when you are going to, particularly for monsoon repairs, when you are going for terrace layer, you have to use fast drying coatings which are elastomeric in nature. So it can be polyurethane, it can be acrylic, it can be even bituminous, sometimes it has tapes also. So products are like as per the uses of the terrace, whether the terrace is used for daily working or it is only industrial terrace, or there are children who are going to go and play cricket on the terrace, or some firing, or people are organizing parties on the terrace. So accordingly, but the products should be like that they are low maintenance and easy application. Like if you apply acrylic coating, and even during monsoon you find that it has deteriorated, again it can be patched up with the same coating within next hour. So coating material should be like elastomeric in nature, have good bond strength with the substrate. So they are basically acrylics which are majorly used in the market, like when you use for external walls. So acrylic paints you are using everywhere, like Asian, Apex or Berger or whatever. So they have a good adhesion, good life. But now what these coatings give is an adhesion. Instead of adhesion, they also give elastomeric properties. So paint is easily peel off. These coatings will not peel off. Paint has no flexibility. They have flexibility and elongation. They can elongate up to 150%, 200%, whereas paint will not. So whenever there is expansion contraction, paint will crack. Paint will peel off. They will not crack. They will not peel off. Paint will not give you guarantee against any leakages, but these will give you guarantee for 5 to 10 years against leakages. So these are coatings which are used for terraces and for repairs, because leakage is not only happening from paints or coating, but from repairs also. For repairs also, you have to use ready to use. Now repair mortars are available, like I said, micro concrete or ready mix mortar, which is known as polymer modified mortar. So these are quick repairs and quick turnarounds, and quick coatings can be done. And all are based on polymer and cementitious base. So mother products are binding each other very easily. If there are different mediums, there will be a bonding issue. So products should be selected in such a way they are economical, easy to do, fast curing, and can be maintained at a later stage easily, and the defects can be diagnosed properly. Like when we say elastomeric coating, if it is damaged at one place, you can find that this is the damage area and leakage will create through this only, not any other area. So leakage is also identifiable at a later stage. So you don't have to break even entire terrace or entire floor or area. Only you have to do that patch area.
Mr. Pranav, I have a question for you. What are the recommended maintenance practices for facades, such as cleaning, sealing, and repairing to ensure their durability and effectiveness during monsoon season?
Basic cleaning, what is required for the facade cleaning. So there are a lot of contractors who are, you are available in the market, who takes care of the entire AMCs of the cleaning of the facade. So that can be hired. And post monsoon, there is very important to clean if there are any fungus, algae, or any stains which has been there on the facade. Secondly, when you are talking about the joineries during the monsoon season, we need to be very sure that there are no open joints in any facade. So we can fill the joints with silicone or epoxy grout and make sure that there is no water which is leaking inside the facade. So these are the ways what you can maintain the facade very easily. And you can replace also any facade product very easily, because there are a lot of joints. Always any product is not touched to each other. There is always a gap, and that gap has been filled with silicone or other grout. So you can remove a single piece and you can replace that piece also. You don't need to open the entire facade to replace a single piece. So they are not interconnected. They are individual pieces.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering that. Mr. Somendra, we had a question in the Q&A box. Can MCAM aliphatic coat replace roofing tiles?
Yes, it can, because one, it is seamless, it is colorful, it's color fast, and also is highly abrasion resistant. So you get an excellent finish. It can replace the roofing tiles as well. For certain areas, you might need to add anti-skid surfaces, so in walkways and other places. Otherwise, for remaining area, it's perfectly fine.
All right, so thank you so much for answering that. Mr. Nitin, how does fenestration design impact the energy performance and sustainability of the buildings during monsoon?
As I kind of, also mentioned it, obviously system design involves the right design of the structural member, which does not affect the deflection that happens during high wind and rains. And second is energy performance. I did mention humidity and condensation are two things. So in case we do a double glass and also do a lot of ventilation through the windows, the humidity aspect can be taken care of. So I think these are the two things probably which will help you to take care of the windows and the facade.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nitin, for your inputs. Mr. Somendra, what are the considerations for testing, certification, and compliances of waterproofing chemicals with relevant industry standards and codes for monsoon-specific applications?
Okay, so basically the standard which is being followed for the liquid applied polyurethanes is ASTM 836. It provides for several basic parameters which the coating needs to meet in order to qualify. And then there are various standards for application as well. The only difference in 836 is 836 is one of the parameters is more suited for cold climates So where you have minus 30 centigrade test, which may not be necessary in most parts of our country. But of course, in J&K and other places, you need to have that parameter also included. So 836 is the go-to standard for the liquid applied polyurethane.
You may share it.
So I'll show you first. So you can see the application which we are doing on the cracks. So when you find cracks like this, you have to cut open them properly with the grinder, which is shown here, and then clean it with brush. Also, you have to wash it with water. So now this application is showing with water application. You have to wash the crack so that all dirt comes out of the crack during opening of the crack. You have to take this paste, acrylic paste, which is pure acrylic, elastomeric and flexible in nature. So now you see all these cracks are filled. Sometimes when there are bigger cracks and deeper cracks, this filling requires second time also. Because by its weight, it will sag inside the crack. Big crack will take more inside. So it has to be recoated after 24 hours. This is a process. Now I will show you the next video. After this crack filling, how to apply coating. This is the acrylic elastomeric coating, which has to be applied on the entire terrace or like external walls. So are you able to see it?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah, so
you are able to see.
This has to be applied in 3 coats. First coat has to be diluted with water at 50%, means 1 kg chemical, then half kg water. And then on this treated surface, you have to apply a primer coat. So the primer coat will have a penetration as well as dust binding property and act as a bond coat for the top 2 coats to come. So having after crack treatment, do the primer application, and after primer application, you have to apply 2 top coats, which are you will see now. So these 2 top coats you have to apply undiluted. You don't have to dilute with water. So these are ready to use then. You can apply it by brush or roller, both. So this is third coat with dilution, and the gap between each coat should be around 4 to 6 hours. So when 2 to 4 hours it gets dried, in summer it takes 2 hours, in winter it takes 4 to 6 hours. For monsoon areas. So you can see before these cracks are there, when you coat it completely, these cracks are also hidden behind the coating. So this coating has a crack bridging ability of 2 mm. So up to 2 mm cracks can be hidden behind the coating. Also this is white in color, so you can tint it to a color of your shade. So then you can give a shade to your walls or terrace, different color than white. As people want to have a choice of colors with them. So here we have shown you like terracotta color. The coating is so effective now, you can see that it can be applied on highly porous surface, which can directly leak like this. But when you coat it, and after that you fill with our water, there will be no water drips, no leakages. So micro pores will be leak free. And now this, when you take out the film, this is so elastomeric in nature, you can elongate it at more than 170%. So the product is waterproofing, it has crack bridging ability, easy to clean, it is also temperature resistance, UV resistant, and can be tinted to color of your choice. So this is the right choice for water walls as well as terraces. And in the coming monsoons, this is the only solution which can be acting in a very better way.
I'd like to add certain things here. So basically, for active cracks, by just simply making a V-groove like this and filling with a sealant doesn't work very well, because in expansion and contraction, this bonding surface after some time gets disbonded. So what we normally do is that we have a bridging mechanism wherein we put a disbonded bridge of the coating material, which is 5 or 6 times wider than the width of the crack. So that even in long periods, even if your crack is it's active crack, it is moving, expanding and contracting, then the strain of the movement gets distributed over a much wider area, and then you will have no chances of disbondment of the sealant and crack opening up.
But in regular practices, we do not go for C shape or V shape. We say go for regular shape, only C shape. And this crack filling sealant has a movement ability of plus minus 15% of the crack width. That's why it doesn't reopens, and the coating again which we are applying over it has an elongation of 170% to 200%.
Well, even if you put a polysulfide or a very highly flexible coating, because of the repeated expansion and contraction, the bond tends to give away. So whether a V shape or a C shape, it will ultimately fail. But if you have a 5x of the width, so normally for a crack of 2 mm, we would go for more than 5. So we may go for a 10 or 20 mm membrane or like a disbonded bridge over that. And then even very long, so the extent of deformation is 1-2% on the bridge. So it really in the long term works quite well.
Yes. Also, the video has helped us to understand how the product actually works. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Pankaj. Also, we have one more question here from Biha. What is the appropriate membrane or bitumen membrane if it can be applied at wet areas or terraces? Mr. Somendra?
Personally, I don't have information about APP membranes and bitumen because these are really old products and the world has moved on. What we can suggest is you can go for a new generation product for these areas which works very well, which is the hybrid polyurea systems.
The answer is I had worked on APP membranes for 15 years. No bitumen products can work on wet areas. So if you have to apply APP membranes or bituminous membranes, the areas should be bone dry. The moisture content in the slab should be less than 8%. If there is a moisture in slab itself also, it can bulge out the membrane because of the water evaporating out of the slab. So that if the moisture content is more than 8%, and if you apply these membranes also, in wet condition, forget, you cannot adhere it in any case. So that is the correct answer. Don't use it in wet areas. If you have to use APP membranes, they have all, every product has its uses. So people can use even bituminous product, acrylic product, PU product, polyurea product, depending upon the quantity, size, requirement, choice and cost. And the performance parameter, I may need for 5 years, some may need for 15 years. So if my budget doesn't allow for 15 years, I can go for a 5-year solution, which can be like bituminous or APP membrane or a polymer coating. So in that case, but yeah, in wet areas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj, for answering that. Mr. Nitin, can you give the closing of today's session? Any closing statement?
Probably to do with I would say, let me just speak from a customer perspective. Now, when we talk about a customer, in India being such a diversified country, some people are very quality conscious and some people are very price conscious. I think the entire decision is made when you are buying the product. Why? Because quality versus price is something very difficult for people who are not from the construction line. At the end of the day, if you are handling a large project and price is a constant, people in some cases, specifically the ones who are not trained to buy something, end up selecting the product more on the price. Now that is where probably if the evaluation of the technical aspects of the product have not been made, you've kind of attracted a lifelong problem for yourself. And the second thing is the preventive measures. The market is still growing. I mean, it was a very, very, eye-opening session for me in terms of the, I would say, waterproofing solutions available, just like these two gentlemen, Mr. Somendra and Mr. Pankaj said. Because all I knew was that, there is a grouting and then you just, cover it up with an epoxy paint. That is it. I mean, as a layman. So whatever they've told, I think they mentioned about 5 or 6 types of coatings. Now, if I have to do something for my even residence or for my factory at the end of the day, now this information is not available openly in the market. If I happen to come across a Nuvi Chemicals or Amchem products, the people will definitely would want to kind of price me. So I think there should be a knowledge sharing and an awareness platform for only building material products, where any question, like a Quora that you have in Google, or let's say Chat GPT these days we have, any question anyone has for construction industry should be able to put in, and a layman should be able to learn about it. What happens in India is that they'll call 5 vendors and they'll take information from every vendor and try and play it with the other vendor, and by the end of it think कि भैया मेरे को सब कुछ आता है, and now I even know how to negotiate the price. And so these are the small problems which I'm talking from a customer perspective, not from a vendor perspective. I'm sure these problems also occur when our salespeople go and sell a product, because we train our people to sell their product, but not be consultative in nature. So I often kind of joke between my salespeople that what is the difference between winning an order, what is different from winning an order. So I always tell them, try and win the customer and not the order. Even if you don't get the order and you win the customer, if not today, you'll get an order tomorrow. But that is very, very difficult in times when people want to earn incentives. They'll keep on, and customer is smart at the end of the day. The minute you have a little bit of hesitation, he will understand in any which ways. A salesperson coming and selling a product, the customer knows he biased hai apne product ko bechne ke liye. So he is in any which way looking at him very critically. He is trying to find faults rather than understanding what good that product is going to supply to him. So I think it is also to do with our approach. Our approach should be more consultative in nature. I can remember that the last time I was in the market, the customer said that we have a better product than you as well as a better price, and I said, okay, I would like to learn from it. Please make me sit on the chair next to you so that I can see how the other person is giving a product better than me. Why? Because there is no harm in losing an order. Why? Because that's where critics come into play. When you lose an order, it hits you more, because when you win an order, it does not hit you. You just go and party and sleep. So I would say that the more thing should be that we should have a sharing platform, an awareness platform, where first of all a layman can get apprised of. He can get 3-4 names from where, example, a very good I would say suggestion I would give every one of you. Now we are members of IGBC, which is the Indian Green Building Council. If anyone is constructing a green building, so IGBC has a list of approved vendors. So your product has to be Green Pro approved. Now, in case, we are also in the game for it. Now, the problem is in India, as of now, the market has only accepted aluminium windows, which are not thermal break. For becoming a Green Pro product, you have to have a thermal break product. So that was a learning for us. So the minute we build a thermal break product, we will be able to get our product enlisted in Green Pro, and anyone who's building a sustainable building can go to CII, get your vendorship enlisted, and tomorrow I know that if I have to construct a good building, I go and have a choice of those vendors and speak to them, and then there should be an awareness platform wherein I can get to know what all options are available. So my submission is this, that an awareness platform is very important, where technology versus price discussion can happen, just like we are happening it on, it's happening here. Although we are not discussing the prices, but definitely if someone wants to learn, he can learn a lot from these kind of platforms. So something like this, if it starts, it will be very helpful for the end customer, industrial or residential.
Thank you, Mr. Nitin, for your interesting views. Thank you, panelists, for exchanging your valuable thoughts on today's topic, designs and construction maintenance for monsoon. We hope you have enjoyed it. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Pankaj Pokharna, Mr. Pranav Sanghvi, Mr. Shomendra Maan, and Mr. Nitin Mehta. For viewers who have joined us today, we would like to have your feedback and encourage you to stay connected with us via our social media handles. ACE Update is available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also download our app from Google Play and App Store. We would also request our viewers to stay tuned for future interactions. With that, today's interaction has now come to a close. Thank you and goodbye.